So story goes, I'm in church, typical Sunday. I think this was the first Sunday of the quarter or something like that. And we have to give offerings and tithes, right? Whenever you give tithes, your offering has to accompany the tithes. You can't, why would you separate the two? The church needs your money. So, we had people going up and everyone did their normal offering. People did their normal tithing. We're sitting there, they're singing, they're praising God. And then someone comes out and says it's round two. Round two for what? Like, this isn't a buffet.
Round two.
Round two.
Fight. Yeah.
And they start the convincing. They started convincing God has done much for you. We saw the people come up here, give their testimonies. Come on, let's go. Let's go. They rile people up. They praise and worship for a while. And then one comes up and then more people start to come up. And they did this for, I think, 3 rounds. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, like, no one here drives a really nice, expensive car. You got people going to second and third shift jobs. You have people coming to church from working overnight, probably at a warehouse. Nothing against warehouse workers, but if you're working in the warehouse,
you're putting in work.
It just tells me, like you have a lot of ground to cover. You have your bills to cover, and your one job isn't paying you enough for you to pay all of your bills and whatnot. So you need another job. These people are hard workers, okay? And you're asking them for multiple rounds of tithes and offering. And that was my first lesson. It felt really weird, and I felt bad for the people because why are you stripping these people of their money, and how are you helping them gain their money back? Right? That's the thing that, looking back, I'm like, man, the church just takes and takes and takes and takes and takes. If you never fall into calamity or something big happened to you, generally most people don't go to the church and say, hey, I need help. I need like $1,000, $2,000 this month and all that. There's some people that do that, but generally speaking, the average churchgoer does not do that. So that was the first lesson that I saw in that picture. The second thing that I saw in that picture was a sense of pride, a sense of praise. So they do this other thing where if you give a big enough tithe or you offer to pay a certain amount, when you do that, they call you up to the church to come stand in front of the church. And on one Sunday service, I actually saw them tell people, hey, you guys are some of the biggest givers of your tithes and whatnot. You can go ahead and sit with the elders. Like we've especially created seats for you next to the elders on the pulpit. You can go sit next to them, sit behind the pastor, so people can recognize that you're giving this much to the church. And that was another eye opener for me now that I think about it, because what is happening? What's the problem? Like, why are you fishing so much money from the church people who actually need their money? And there's a Bible verse that I'm going to pull up at the end of this to show you guys that they're completely wrong, lying. They're deceiving people about this. You don't need money from the people. You need money from the people to help if a church is struggling, if someone is struggling. It's very specific.
Yeah.
And when you bring those problems to the church, it actually causes the church to want to give. But when you just say, bring your tithes and offerings because this is your monthly bill to the church, that's kind of crazy. But that's my story.
Yeah, and just for anybody that's like, man, are these guys against giving? No, we're not against giving, but we want to point to the direction of giving correctly. And we're not against giving to the church as well, but we got to give appropriately, and we can't be strong-armed into giving, or can't have a mentality of just giving because that's what you just do. You got to understand what giving is and how to do that properly,